Welcome to Six Songs and Some Stories. I'm Martha Gallagher, your musician and host for the evening, and I've got a wonderful concert for you tonight. A wonderful story that I love sharing, and some great music, plus a guest artist, my husband, Dennis Gallagher, on guitar. So I'm sure you're going to enjoy the stories and music. But first, I wanted to share with you something because so many of you that come to my concert are fans and friends who return each month for my concerts. And I just wanted to share some things with you because things that are in my life often find their way into my music. Since I saw you last during March's Six Songs and Some Stories, I was diagnosed with breast cancer and have had surgery. And I have to say, I'm feeling great and healing vibrantly. So continue the good wishes that I know some of you have sent, and I love accepting any good wishes and prayers that you'd love to send. Thank you so much for that. Now, our first song tonight is one that I love, and the expression that inspired it comes off a tea towel that I have. It says, "Make today lovely." And this tea towel I fold up each morning and put under my coffee cup and my Melita, and I do my little coffee making ritual. And make today lovely just seems like a great way not only to start the day, but to live life. And so it inspired a song, of course. So grab your canine friends, your feline friends, your human friends. Get a cuppa or a glassa, get comfy, and enjoy the show. Make today lovely right from the start. Make today lovely straight from my heart. In everything I think and do and say, I can make it a lovely day. Oh, yes, I can. One more time. Make today lovely right from the start. Make today lovely straight from my heart. In everything I think and do and say, oh yeah, I can make it a lovely day. It's up to me, I got the power. Oh yeah. Make today lovely. Oh, yes, make today lovely. I love playing outdoors on my back porch, on my front porch, when the weather is perfect for playing. And it's almost like that now. We've had a couple of days that were close, but soon. And a couple of years ago, I was out on my back porch, out the kitchen door, and there's a beautiful big mock orange bush there, and the birds love to come. So when I play, they just start singing, and it's just glorious. And I was out there one morning. It was a beautiful Sunday morning. It was sunny, it was warm, the sky was blue with a few puffy white clouds. And I was sitting out there, and this piece of music just came through me, this beautiful piece, pretty much in its entirety, which is kind of unusual. But nonetheless, I thought, wow, that's a keeper. And as I thought about, well, what shall I call this piece? I was thinking, well, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. And that reminded me of another Sunday morning a number of years before that. I had gone to Wales to go to a harp festival in Carnarvon. And when I got there, I was immersed in this wonderful Welsh town, the castle, the beautiful countryside, the thousands of sheep. It was just wonderful, and the weather was beautiful, and daffodils are blooming everywhere because it was April. And in April in Wales, daffodils bloom. During the week, I took the public transportation because I didn't have a car. So I took the public transportation out to this little village in the mountains because I wanted to go for a hike. And the town is called, and I'm probably gonna like really chop it up here because it has many consonants in the name, Dennis Gallagher. And it's at the base of some gorgeous mountains. So I took the bus out, zipping through the countryside and kind of rattling along, got there and sweet little village and walked up and did a hike. And when I came back down, there was a cemetery. And those of you who know me know I love cemeteries. I just love reading inscriptions on stones. And I thought, wow, this would be so cool. I could come back here maybe on the last day before I leave and take a walk in the cemetery and see if there's any good inscriptions. So I promised myself I would come back, and indeed I did. On the last day before I left to come home, it was a Sunday, and the wrap-up for the festival wasn't until later in the afternoon, so I got up early, got the bus out, went to Dennis Gallagher, and started walkabout in the cemetery. And indeed, there were beautiful stones, old stones, and inscriptions, and they were all in Welsh, which I don't speak and I don't read. But I had met a number of retired Welsh school teachers at the Harp Festival, so I thought, well, if I see anything that looks interesting, I'll write it down in my notebook and I'll take it back and ask them. I did find a stone, though, that was carved. It had a Welsh harp carved on it, and then leeks, which are one of the national symbols of Wales, 2 leeks in the shape of a heart around the outside of the harp. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. And as I walked in the cemetery, suddenly I started hearing music. I thought, well, that's kind of odd. But then I realized there was this little chapel tucked right in there at the edge of the cemetery. And it was Sunday morning. It was a beautiful Sunday morning. So the doors and windows were open and the music was wafting out. And I laughed out loud because my mom, who was at home, and her health was not good at all. But she'd said for years that she worried about my soul because my idea of spirituality didn't quite match up with what her idea of spirituality was. But nonetheless, anyway, we had some good laughs about it. And I laughed out loud and said aloud to no one because no one was there, Mom, you're just trying to get me to go in that church. Well, I didn't go in, but I did enjoy the music. And I walked and I thought about my mom and wrote down some inscriptions. And then I realized it was time to get headed back to Carnarvon for the rest of the festival. And I was leaving the cemetery and I'm walking along this sweet walkway by the river. There were other people walking, and this older couple was coming towards me. And they had 2 chocolate labs, and the chocolate labs were very happy. And you can tell that because their whole bodies were wagging. And they came up to me and were being all ambassador-like and friendly. And so we said hello and said hello to the couple, and they passed me. And as we're walking away, but still within earshot, I hear the man say, well, Martha, come on. Now, I was sure I didn't know this man. I turned around and I said, excuse me? And he said, oh, I'm just calling my dog. Well, actually, that's not Martha. I used to have a dog named Martha, but that's not her. How odd that I should have said that. And I said, well, my name is Martha. Ah, serendipity. He and his partner invited me to their home that was right there, to have tea with them, and the dogs, of course. And we sat out back with daffodils blooming in the warm air and had tea and cookies and laughed and talked. It was wonderful. And then I realized it really was time to get back to the festival. So I said my goodbyes and got on my way. I got on the bus, and as we came up out of the valley that the village was in, my cell phone apparently had reception now, and it rang. Not expecting any calls, I answered it, but it was a phone message, and it was from my husband, Dennis. Martha, I'm sorry to tell you this in a message, but I don't know when I might reach you. Your mom died this morning. That was a very strange moment. Here I am on this bus rattling through the countryside of Wales, landscape whizzing by, the sheep out there, the sun shining, and my mom is gone. I got back to Carnarvon. I went to the rest of the festival, the concert. It was beautiful. I didn't talk to anyone because I felt a little too close to the edge of falling apart. And after the concert, I went to a little shop and bought some crusty bread and some sharp Welsh cheese and a bottle of wine. And I went down by the water there by Carnarvon Castle. And I enjoyed the sunshine and the breeze and the sound of the water and the cheese and the bread, and I toasted my mom's life with the wine. And as I sat there in the sunshine, I realized that with the time difference between Wales and New York, the moment that I was speaking in the cemetery, oh, Mom, you're just trying to get me to go in that church. The moment I was hearing that music, my mom was passing. Many of you know my husband Dennis, and you know that he's a wonderful guitar player. And those of you who are attending that haven't, well, you're going to get to experience his music. He and I have done a number of harp and guitar things together, but we also do our solo pieces. So I thought it'd be really fun to rope Dennis into doing something during this concert. So join me in welcoming Dennis Gallagher. Woo!
Greetings. Some of you may know that April 1st is April Fool's Day, but it is also the opening day of Major League Baseball. I am a baseball fan. I love watching a baseball game in person, live at the stadium. And when you're at the stadium watching a baseball game, you are boldly going nowhere for 2 hours plus. So in honor of opening day, I'm doing part of my baseball medley. Take me out to the ball game and boldly going nowhere.
Yay, Dennis. Woo, 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 woo. I love that. You know, he and I are working on a version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game with both guitar and harp, and that'll be a lot of fun down the road. And Boldly Going Nowhere, what can I say? But that is the title of Dennis's solo recording, Boldly Going Nowhere. And you can find it on my website, adkharper.com. Under, I think it says CDs, and then you'll see Boldly Going Nowhere. There it is. You can listen to tracks, all of them, and purchase the music. So I hope you'll check that out. And on to the rest of the show. I notice that I hear in many different places about being grateful and having gratitude. And gratitude is a beautiful thing. But I read something in recent years that shifted my perspective a little bit on gratitude. Partly because I realized that I was thinking, being grateful for something. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my harp. I'm grateful for my wonderful friends and fans who join me for concerts. I'm grateful for the fact that I have a husband who cooks really great food, as you can tell. But I read something that I found really interesting because it talks about not being grateful for something, but being grateful therein. So I wanted to share something from this book. It's called The Miracle Minute, and it's by life transformation mentor Mary Morrissey, who I have been delighting in studying with. And in here she writes about a gratitude. The Apostle Paul wrote from a dark, dank prison, a really horrendous place. I have learned this one thing in life. I have learned that whatever state I find myself, therein to be grateful. Whatever condition which I find myself, therein to be grateful. And he's saying something really important because it's an experience of amplified living that comes from a state of gratitude. And he's not saying, I'm grateful for being in prison. I'm not saying grateful for the experience. I'm grateful in the experience. So no matter what's conditions, be grateful because gratitude is transformative. Gratitude lifts our perspective. Gratitude changes the vibratory field in such a way that we begin to have access to the field of all possibilities. Therein, I am grateful. Therein I am grateful, grateful therein, therein I am grateful, grateful therein. Therein I am grateful, grateful therein, therein I am grateful, grateful therein. wherein I am grateful, grateful, grateful therein. I am grateful. We're going to take a little trip back in time to another place. North of us, outside of Plattsburgh, New York, there's this really sweet winery called the Amazing Grace Winery. And during the summer, they have a concert series outside by the vineyard. This clip is from a couple years ago, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So get your sing along voice ready because you're going to want to sing. Enjoy! Edelweiss, Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, small and white, clean and bright, you look happy to meet me, blossom of snow may you bloom and grow, bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever. Now I know that many of you are not going to have the opportunity to sing Edelweiss with a live harpist again. So you might want to just live life right and do it. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, small and white, clean and bright, you look happy to meet me, blossom of snow may you bloom and grow, bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever. That one's always fun. Oh, I just came across that clip recently and I thought, gotta share that with during my concert. So I hope you enjoyed that. I would have to say that generally speaking, one doesn't think of a cancer diagnosis as a gift. And yet, that is how I am approaching mine. I will tell you that I don't think it's definitely not a gift that I wanted or asked for. But here it is. And now it's up to me to notice and embrace the blessings that sparkle around it. Now, as open as many of you know me to be on stage, there's a very private part of me, and up until now, I would have probably kept this diagnosis very private. And I would have suffered through all this by myself. Oh, and I would have made Dennis suffer too, of course. But this time around, I chose to share it. I chose the way that I wanted to share it with people. And as soon as I did with friends and the congregation I'm a member of and a greater community and with you, all kinds of blessings came to me. Phone calls, emails, wonderful cards and little gifts. But as much of all that, it's the fact that people are thinking of me. And I don't say this in terms of me, but the fact that people are drawn to care about others. I think that is our default mode. No matter what we see on the nightly news, there is that default to joy and default to love. So this next tune is one that I call Bless This Precious Day. And it was part of my gratitude series that I created last summer in 2020. Songs inspired by gratitude in daily life. And I'm going to first read you, though, a very short blessing from this beautiful book by a dear friend of mine, Amy J. And it's called The Blessed Home. And it's beautiful, and she talks about the tradition of blessing and the reasons for blessing and just delves into it. And I found it to be a beautiful book. I loved it. I thought I was going to, read a chapter here and a chapter there, and I basically sat down and read the whole thing through and then went back and did it again. But I have permission to share one of the blessings, and this is the blessing for the new day. As morning light pushes back the darkness of night, I give thanks for the shelter and safety in which I have rested. May the rising sun spread its promise over my home, and may its rays warm any cold or dark places within me. May I breathe in fresh air of this morning with hope and anticipation, knowing that new possibility, new adventure, and new mercy is given to me. Not only is this morning a fresh start, but I can begin again as many times as I need throughout the day. May I face the challenges of this day with courage and creativity. May I bless my body and spirit with the nourishment of beauty, good food, movement, laughter, and moments where I notice and embrace life's simple joys. May I remember that each person I meet has a story, and may I have the wisdom and compassion to listen, whether they tell that story through words or actions. May my words be empowering and kind, especially the ones I speak to myself. May I do my day's work with purpose and passion, as if my work could change the world, because it does. May I brighten someone's day. May I create something that makes me smile. May I take one more step toward living the dreams in my heart. And most of all, when the sun sets this evening, may I feel satisfied that I have done the best I could to live and to love well on this precious day. Isn't that beautiful? And I'd like to dedicate this song to a very dear friend of mine, friend for 30 years, who just in the last week passed away. Even though she had been quite sick with pancreatic cancer, it was not expected that she would leave us so soon. And I had the honor and delight to be with her in those last days, even though she wasn't conscious, to talk with her, to be with her. And I took my small harp Grace and played for her. And this woman, she was a woman who I expect did indeed bless each precious day and lived it fully. May we also. I bless this day before I open my eyes. I bless this day as I arise. It is a gift that I've been given. Bless this precious day. I bless the sunshine, I bless the rain. I bless the joys, I bless the pain. It is a gift that I've been given. I bless this precious day. I bless its preciousness, sacredness, holiness, in all I think and do and say. I bless this precious day. I bless its preciousness, sacredness, holiness, in all I think and do and say. I bless this precious day. I bless the moments, great and small. I bless the hours, one and all. This is a gift that I've been given. I bless this precious day. I bless this precious day. Thank you for coming tonight. It's been a delight to have you with me here for my April 6 Songs and Some Stories concerts. I hope you enjoyed all the music and stories, guest artists, and the sing-along. I'm delighted that I'm able to make these concerts available free of charge so that no matter what your life circumstances are at the moment, you can attend if you want to. I'm also delighted to be able to accept contributions. So if you love the music, you love the stories, you want to contribute to the concerts, you're able to, and you can find the information and the way to contribute on my website, adkharper.com. And know that any and all contributions are most welcome. Thank you. Be well, take care, and I'll look forward to seeing you again in May for more 6 Songs and Some Stories.